y'all. Welcome back to STEM Starters. Today we are going to complete a super fun and super useful tech project together. We are going to go step by step and make our own 3D printed NFC tag. So what is an NFC tag? NFC stands for Near Field Communication, and it's just a tiny chip that can store information like your name, phone number, social media, or even a website link. And it can send that information to a smartphone or device with just a tap. So you don't need batteries, you don't have to recharge, no wires, nothing, just tap and go. People use NFC tags in all kinds of creative ways. A lot of people put them into a digital business card where people can just tap their phones and get that information. You can trigger smart home actions. You can link your website or your portfolio, and you can also share your Wi-Fi password. So this is perfect for guest rooms or people who come to your house and want that Wi-Fi password. They can just tap and get it. And the best part is, with your 3D printer, you can create your own custom 3D printed NFC tag that looks great and works like magic. So I'm going to show you how today. So I have an example here. I created this tag for a friend for her to put it on her hockey stuff in case it ever gets lost. So it says on the back, tap for contact info. So I'm just going to show you how this works. You just have to bring your phone close to this contact information, and it's going to go ahead and buzz, and it's going to show the phone number that I programmed it to have in there. And if you can see just a little bit in here, you can kind of see that white circle there. That is the NFC tag that I printed directly inside here. So I didn't have to use any glue, any tape, or anything. It's just already 3D printed in this tag with just a pause. So if this sounds like something you want to make, stick around and I'll show you how step by step. So usually to make my designs, I use Silhouette Studio or I use Adobe Illustrator. But if you're unfamiliar with those, I'm going to show you how to use MakerWorld's Keychain Creator and Canva to create your design. So we're going to stick with the hockey theme, and I'm going to find one of the hockey pucks that I like by looking in the elements and then searching for hockey puck under the graphics. So I'm going to choose one that looks to be kind of easy to print. So I really like this one and I like how it looks, and it brings me up some magic recommendations. So I'll check out some others. Oh, I kind of like that too. But I think I'm going to go with this first one. I want it to be on a keychain, so I want to give it a little extra area around it. So I'm going to be looking for some shape. I think I'm going to go into shapes. So I'm going to insert an arch shape, and then I'm just going to resize it by dragging the corner. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to layer and send to back. And I'm also going to change the color of this. So I'm going to click on the arch, and then I'm going to change it to something like red. Make sure those are lined up together. And then you can go ahead and put the name in here. So I'll just add a text box, and then I'll change it to the name that I would like to include. And I want it to be kind of a sport theme. So I am going to search for sport fonts. I really like this sports world, so I'm going to do that and then make this a little larger. Okay, I really like that. I have this hockey puck, and I have the background, and I have the name, which is all I need right now. So I'm going to download this as a PNG. So I'll go to Share, Download, PNG. I'm going to add a transparent background, and I'm going to select just the current page, and then I'm going to download. So now I'm going to head over to MakerWorld, and then I'm going to go to MakerLab. Now I'm going to scroll down until I see the image to keychain, and then I'll click on that, and then I'll click on Create from Blank. Then I'm going to take what I just downloaded and drag it over here. I'm going to go ahead and make the image thickness, and I'm going to make it 3. millimeters and confirm. It always takes a minute to process. Okay, I'm going to look at my preview and then I'm going to confirm it. And now I'm going to make sure that I have 4 colors selected, and it has selected my colors very well: black, white, and red. So I'm just going to confirm that. Now over here, you can change these colors if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and download and choose my nozzle size, and I'm going to go ahead and download 3 MF files since I have Bambu Studio. Now once I'm in Bambu Studio, I'm going to go ahead to create new project, and I'm going to go ahead and drag in the keychain that I just created. So you can print yours just like this if this is how you would like it to look. But you can also come over here to all of the black areas and you can make them, you can resize them. So right now these are 3 millimeter, but I am going to change these to 5. And then I am going to go click on all of the white, hold down Shift, and select all the white areas. And then I'm going to also make those 5. So then we can see that the white and black parts stand off of this keychain. Okay, now that I have gotten everything the heights that I want them to, I can go ahead and slice my plate and I can just take a quick look at it and I can see as I drag this down what's going to happen. So I'm going to go back to prepare because I want to resize this to make sure this is exactly what I want. So I'm going to go to the resize function, and right now it's at about 100 by 93, and that's pretty good. So I'm okay with that. I'm going to make it around 100. So around 80 to 100 is good. So it's a little on the large side, but I'm okay with that. If you're going to change this, you want to make sure that uniform scale is on, and you can go ahead and change that to a different number and it'll change everything else accordingly too, so that everything stays about the same. Now what I'm going to do is put in the hole for my keychain, and I want to make it at least as thick as my object, but you sometimes want to make it a little thicker. So I'm going to make sure I have this selected, and I'm going to right click on it and press add negative part and put in a cylinder. Then I'm going to resize this by making it about 5 or 6 tall. Now, once you resize it, it's going to be floating in the air. So we're going to go to move, and I'm just going to make this 0. Notice this drops it below the plane. So you can also make this half of its number to bring it up right on the plane. So I'm going to make that 3. And I'm just going to use these, and I'm going to drag it up here a little close to the edge. I'm going to move this around so I can see how it looks. And that's about perfect. So now the only thing I need is to go ahead and put the hole in there for my NFC tag. So I'm going to again make sure I have this selected, right click, add negative part, and then put a cylinder in there. This time when I resize it, my NFC tags are 25 millimeters by 25 millimeters by 1 millimeter. So I'm going to add 0.2 to each of those measurements. So I'm going to have it 25.2 by 25.2. Then I'm going to have to turn off uniform scale, and I'm going to make this 1.2. Then I'm going to again move this over. I'm going to take this down to, I'm going to put that on about 2 millimeters so that it's hovering above the plane. It's going to be 1 millimeter above the plane. I'm going to change this to 0. I'm going to change this to 0. And then I'm going to change this to 0. I'm going to drag it about in the middle of this, right here. Doesn't matter if it's exactly in the center. So then I'm going to flip this over to the back, and I'm going to click here, and I'm going to make sure I have added text. And then I can just choose one of my fonts. And I'm going to type in tap for contact. I'm going to make the thickness 0 because this is the bottom of the plate. And then I'm going to make the embedded depth about 0.2. And then I'm just going to bring this over here. Oh, it's too large. So I'm going to take that down to about 9 and see how that looks. And I am pretty happy with that. I'm going to right click on my text shape and I'm going to change the filament to white. Okay. So now I'm pretty happy with my design. So now I'm going to go over to slice the plate and I'm just going to look and make sure I've done everything correctly. It's going to be about 1 hour and 48 minutes. And then, so I'm going to drag this down. And then we see that my hole is created in my design. So I need to add a pause here so that I don't have to sit by my machine and just wait for that hole to be created. So I'm going to drag this down by the layer level. And then now we see that circle starting to appear, but that's the top of it. So that is the first layer we see where there's no top to it. So I'm going to drag it back up. I know it seems counterintuitive to me as well, but you want to put a pause because it's going to break. It's going to put a pause before the start of this row. So it's basically going to look like this, and then that's what that row looks like completed. So it's going to put a pause before it. So you wait until the circle is covered, and then you're going to right click here and add a pause. And then you're ready to go. You're going to slice your plate, and then you can print it out. Once you've started your print, you're going to get your NFC tags and wait for the pause to happen. I got these NFC tags that have a bit of sticky on the back so that they'll be even more secure inside the print. Once the pause happens, I just go ahead and peel that backing off and put it right inside my print. Now you can press play on the machine, or you can also resume printing in the Bambu Handy app. And once you play it, it just starts printing right over that NFC tag that you've placed in there. And that's it. You have your completed tag. Okay, now I am going to show you how to write the information on the NFC tag that you just created. So you'll get your tag, and then on your phone, you're going to want to download an NFC Tools or app from the App Store. It doesn't really matter which one. And then you're going to make sure that you click on NFC Tools. So I'm going to go under the right tab and I'm going to go to add a record. And you can add any of these things that you want to. So I'm just going to add a phone number. So I'm going to go in and then I'm going to click OK. And the neat thing is that you can add another record as well. You can add another phone number, another text message, anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and add those 2 phone numbers. So if you go to other, you can go ahead and lock the tag so that nobody can write over it again. And there's some other things that you can do over here as well. You can set a password for it. So all of those types of things. And then I'm going to go to write. So it says approach an NFC tag. So I'm going to take my tag here. And then I'm just going to take my phone and tap it on there. And then it's going to pick up that it's there and write is complete. So that is done. So now I'm going to close out of this. And then later on, when anybody takes their phone and approaches the tag, then it will bring up the information that you have put on your tag. And that's it. You've just made your own 3D printed NFC contact tag. so you can use it to share your contact info, promote your business, or just impress your friends. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be sure to join me next time for the next cool 3D printed project. If you made your own NFC tag from this video, I'd love to see it. So don't forget to tag me or drop a comment in the video below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.